if you look at the Sapta Swara, Sa Re Ga Ma Pa Da Ni, 7. Then so it goes into the next octave, right? You can also go down, you can also go up, right? So you're in this, so this Sapta Swara is increasing in frequency. Sa, Re, Ga, Ma. You notice the change in frequency? You're going up in frequency, okay? Now, there's something else like that you are looking at right now, which you may not even be aware of, which is the sunlight. Sunlight also has 7 components. I must have told you in school, violet, indigo, blue, Vibgaya as they call it, right? Green. So the lowest frequency in that is red. So that is like this. So red, so there is a connection between the Sapta Swara of music and the 7 layers of light, energy. Okay. So according to our Shastras, each color, each energy, type of energy has a color, not just matter, but energy also has color. For example, the red color represents kama, desire. That's why when we do Ganesh Puja and all that, we use red flowers and all these things. Anyway, let's not get into those. Let's focus on Krishna. So the red energy that comes from the sunlight, from the infinite source, that actually is given to all of us. So in that Venu Nada, the first level is given to all of us uniformly, whether we realize it or not, whether you know anything about Krishna or not. Everybody has desire of something, okay? The question is, just like this scaling, when you go from Sa, you go to Re, you're going to the question is, if you look at the light, right, what are these transitions? Well, if you start with red as the bottom, and there are things below red, there's infrared, but we cannot perceive that. Just like in the sound, you can hear only from, say, about 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz. That's an audible range. You cannot, it doesn't mean there's no frequencies above that or below that. We cannot hear that sound. So similarly, I cannot feel something, like you can give me energy that's below the red. But as a human being, I'm incapable of, I cannot even experience that. So desire is my starting point. As a human being, desire is my starting point. Animals do things according to intuition. We do things according to intellect and desire. Right? An animal will eat only when it's hungry. I will eat a gulab jamun even when I'm full. If an animal is full, you put food right in front of it, it won't eat, it'll just walk away. Take a dog, put some dog food in front of it. If it's full, you just look at that and just walk away. We are not like that. You put gulab jamun in front of me, I'll say, and then I'll eat one, right? Whether I need it or not, like it or not, I'll eat it, right? So desire, because I want to experience something. The desire to experience something nice is something that is common to all of us, across the board. So the Sa part in Krishna's Venu Nada is given to you, free. Everybody got the first note. Now you want to hear music. I cannot sit here and keep saying, Sa. That's not music. If I keep on saying, okay, I'll sing for you. You come and say, okay, go ahead and sing. I say, Sa. After 2 minutes, you'll say, idiot. That's not music, man. What are you doing? So desire itself doesn't create nada.
Exactly.
It's the transition. There's arohana and avrohana in classical music. That is ascending order, descending order. So if you take it any raga, for it to be nice, the different ragas create different moods, okay, depending on how you ascend and descend. But we are doing this in these 7 layers, right? 7 steps rather. So if you look at the other things, if you look at the next few layers, so what comes after red?
The pure. So orange.
Orange. It's actually, in English they call it orange, it's actually kesari, saffron color.
Okay.
Saffron color. Saffron represents vairagya. Energy wise, Vairagya. Vairagya, that's why these, you see these, all the Swamijis and all that wear saffron. Yeah.
Wear saffron.
Yeah, that represents Vairagya. And that our whole nation uses saffron as a bhauta. Right? That's our color. So Vairagya is our way of life.
That's wonderful. I mean,
And what is Vairagya? Vairagya is not running away from things.
correct.
See, people, Vairagya means I am not interested in all that, you know. Suppose my grandson comes to me, wants to play, so say, I have Vairagya, I don't want to play with you. And that's not Vairagya, that's stupidity, okay? So that's not the point. Vairagya is not running away from something. Vairagya is running towards something. So when you're running towards that infinite one, other things become less important. That's all. It doesn't matter that much. So that lack of obsession with things is Vairagya. And for you to lack, the mind is going to be obsessed about something. Trust me, it will. So whatever, you know, it may be food, it may be a person, it may be a concept, whatever. So people get obsessed, right? But obsession is not good with anything, be it a material thing, be it a person or something, a concept even. Obsession is not good. So that lack of obsession is represented by that saffron color. Vairagya. And we in this land, in Bharata Desha, that is our main thing. In the Vedic Parampara, lack of obsession is our way of life.
Great.
Right? So the next level, when you do sadhana, so if you hear the second note in Krishna's music, what you get is Vairagya. Just second note. Now you have only two notes. So that music you're hearing is only two notes, which is better than one note. Okay. So what is the next color?
Yellow.
Yellow represents, you know, haldi, turmeric.
Turmeric.
That is, it is a disinfectant. Right?
Yes.
That's why we use turmeric in our food, and
Correct.
if you have a cut, you can put turmeric and all. So it's a disinfectant. It kills unwanted bacteria and all that, right? So now what happens is, if you go toward, this is all going towards Krishna, and try to hear his music. So you want to hear his music, you have to bring this into your life. So next level is lack of infection. So nothing can attack me. Nothing. No poison, nothing in this universe can attack me. Right? So the third note, if you want to call it that, the third level of sadhana is when nothing, I'm not affected by anything.
Nothing's really bothering me.
More than bothering,
It's bliss.
yeah, it's a little more than that. It is, you know, you could, like, somebody could say, for example, suppose I come to you and say, hey Vansha, you know, I say something that's not nice, let's say.
Okay.
Suppose I insult you or something, right? You can get hurt.
Okay. That way.
You can get hurt. And you'll say, oh, look at this guy, you know, he said something nasty to me. And so that your mind keeps, you'll never forget that. Right? Even after 10 years, it's you meet the fellow after 10 years, you remember what you said to me 10 years ago? When, at that level of sadhana, when you have heard the third note in Krishna's Venunada, you can say anything you want. You can say anything you want. You're not changing me at all. My inner well-being is not affected by anything you say or do or anything. I'm not infected by that.
Nice. So that's an unshakable
Yes.
place of being.
This is what Arjuna called and asked in Mahabharata Shri Krishna, Sthita prajnasya ka bhasha samadhistasya keshavaha, and says, how does this person sit and talk and blah, blah, blah. And the thing is that when someone has heard that third note in Krishna's Venunada, they're not affected by anything. They're inside, they're always the same, you know, they're not affected by anything. Nothing can cause infection to their mind and spirit. We're not talking about the body. We're talking about the mind and the spirit. What comes after that?
Green.
Green in energy represents samruddhi.
Okay.
Samruddhi means expanse of what? Like, you know, suppose, you know, you look outside that window, when you see all those trees, doesn't it feel good?
It does.
Right?
It's very beautiful and serene.
The same trees, suppose they were brown, you don't feel good, do you?
No.
The same trees, right?
Yeah.
But when you see green, it feels nice, it feels good. That's samruddhi. What samruddhi? Expanse of what? Knowledge, jnana. So at the next level, the fourth note of Krishna's Venunada is what we call yathartha jnana. That is knowledge that is a resource for you. Yathartha, artha means resource. Yathartha jnana means resourceful knowledge. So that knowledge, I'm not talking about chanting some shlokas in Sanskrit or something. Concepts that are ingrained in you, that are resourceful.
Like?
Well, such as, for example, why should you do something? Why should we be doing this thing? Why? Well, there's several reasons. I can say because I like making videos. That's one reason. Or you can say because I want to be famous. Or I want to make money. Whatever, you can have multiple reasons, right? But the correct thing would be, it's not about me. So if somebody says, why do you want to make a video? Immediately I start talking about how it affects me. No. Why are you important? You're doing this for other people to feel good, not for you to feel good. So when you're doing something for other people, and it doesn't matter about you, okay? Even if nobody listens to you, who cares? That's not the point, right?
Correct.
That's not the point. But you're doing it because you want to share something. You share something good, right? Because God has given you something good and you want to share it with somebody. So that is a better, so knowledge, yathartha jnana, is that knowledge that will always make you do things. When I say do, that's a qualified, your karma. Karma comes in three forms, like I said. Thought, action and speech. Even your thoughts. Your thoughts always about other people, not about you. But usually if you think about it, normally we are always thinking about ourselves. 99% of we are thinking about ourselves, right? I say, I should get this, I should do that. I'm always like a victim, right? That's it. Everybody is hurting me, nobody understands me, blah, blah, blah. Why is it about you? So when the thing is about other people, that is yathartha jnana. I'm just giving an example. There's so many other things I can talk about. So that samruddhi of that, expanse of that, is the fourth note. Sa re ga ma ma. And interesting, ma, dhatu part of ma, this fellow is smiling. Dhatu part of ma is knowledge in Sanskrita. So even in music, sa re ga ma ma.
Such beautiful connections everywhere.
Right? So ma, dhatu part is knowledge. You ask any Sanskrit Pandit, he'll tell you, I'm not a Sanskrit Pandit, but you ask any Sanskrit Pandit, they'll say, what is the dhatu part of ma? They'll say knowledge. So that's the fourth note, that expanse of that greenery in my heart, not looking outside greenery. I can be looking at brown stuff, but there can be greenery in my heart, right? Always, because of knowledge. That is the fourth note. That's the ma, sa re ga ma, right? What's the next color?
Blue.
Everything, Krishna's color is blue. Everything about it is blue, right? They say Megha-shyama, right? Neela Megha-shyama. Neela means blue. But there are gradations in that. So the first thing you see, like even when you do dhyana, if you're doing dhyana about Sri Krishna, the color that you see inside is blue. Okay? But there are gradations in that. So there are three notes, the upper three notes. If we went to Saregama, Pada, Ni, there are three, right? Without getting too much into Pada, Ni and all those things, the fact is that those three notes represents different elevations, elevated levels of Sri Krishna, what some people call Krishna consciousness. So when your prajna consciousness is immersed in that, there are different levels. By the way, there's also ultraviolet. So it's not just violet. So what you in English we call blue, indigo, violet.
Right.
So it keeps changing. The blue color, if you just look at dark blue, I don't see anything here, but look at that.
Yeah.
There's gradation. If you look at this blue here, right? That blue, you notice that this blue here, the blue mixed with green color. This blue is more pleasing than this blue. Right? So even that Krishna consciousness, when you start the starting level, that's also nice, by the way. That's a nice color. So anything related to Krishna is nice. Like you said earlier, it's all attractive and nice. So you start there, but he elevates you to even higher levels.
Okay.
Right? So in my life, in this flute, if things are poked, things are coming out, if that is all based on these 7 layers of energy that we talked about, that is when your spirit hears Krishna's Venunada. So you don't have to feel sad that you're not a Gopika 5,000 years ago. Maybe you were, who knows? We don't know that, right? But you don't have to feel sad that, oh, I wish I was born 5,000. Maybe you were, who knows? And you cannot say that, I wish I was a Gopika. You can be a Gopika today, right? And hear Krishna's Venunada in your life, if only we go through this. And as a symbol of that, Shri Krishna is always holding that flute. Because at the end of the day, the flute and all that is fine. It's capable. Be careful here, because the bamboo is capable of becoming a flute. It has the capacity. This sadhana sharira has the capacity. You're not born like that. It has the capacity to let Krishna play his music through you.
Wow. This is amazing.
And then all these 7 things. So in this sadhana sharira, if I do the sadhana, like each one of those layers is like poking holes in that bamboo. And then what do? You give that flute to him and say, hey Krishna, play this flute. This is samarpana. I say, I'm offering myself to you. You play the music. Because at the end of the day, only he can play the music. But I have to do all this. Before he can play the music, the bamboo has to become the flute. Bamboo becoming the flute is the sadhana. And then that samarpana, Krishnarpana, saying that my existence, my everything is for you. You play whatever flute you want. You play whatever music you want. I'm just offering this flute to you. I'm offering my existence, this body, this mind, this soul, everything I'm offering it to you. Then he'll pick it up and play the music and you can hear it. And what happens is that as far as we are concerned, it should not become just academic knowledge. We have to live that life. And do we really offer like what we are doing right now? Are we really offering to Shri Krishna?
Yeah,
only then he'll play the music. So when we do that, he'll play the music. And you can hear it too.
This is very interesting.